Hello everyone, my name is Nazir, and today I'd like to share a story of when I was stranded in Moscow. It was somewhere in August 2015 when I was planning my return home from Russia. My friend at the time, I won't mention his name, but a idiot was the one who escorted me to the train station. Let's even go back to this particular friend of mine. You see, when I arrived in Russia, he was supposed to show me around, okay? He barely had the time though. He was always busy. I had to find someone else who had more time on their hands. No problem, no problem. This same friend of mine was so busy that he'd skip a day we'd planned for months. Oh, no problem. One day, I posted on my Snapchat. I think I was standing somewhere in the garden. Yeah, and I posted on my Snapchat. And one of my followers coincidentally saw the post. And then she was like, "Oh, Nazir, you're in Russia. Oh my goodness, I'm also here. I want to meet you." Yeah, well, okay. So, yep, that's me, by the way, in Russia. I told this friend of mine that I had been invited to a place by one Ghanaian lady fan of mine. He said he couldn't go because he had some rounds to make. No problem. Then I think I mentioned that they were preparing food for me as well. Ha! All of a sudden, oh, he wanted to go. Oh, he has the time. You just go and escort me. So we got there. And my oh my. Look, real talk. The Ghanaian community abroad really love me. I say, like, no jokes. They really love me. And I really love you back. I really appreciate the love you all have for me. See, the way they welcomed me, took my jacket, took me to one of the rooms and served me with some tasty, good Ghanaian vegetable jollof. Chale, I was impressed. And this lady, Sonia, who was a medical student at that time in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia. Look, God continue to richly bless you. After that meal, she took me to other dormitories to meet some cute girls. I was the star of the moment that evening. When I returned to where I left the guys and the jollof, this my friend had left. He had left, knowing very well I couldn't find my way back to the hostel. So the girls decided to go and escort me and showed me the right bus to board. So you see, in Europe, buses work with numbers. And each group of numbers, let's say from 34 to 39, all use the same route. Make one mistake and board the wrong bus, my dear, you end up in Niger. Fast forward, I'm lying in bed minding my business, and this guy shows up. This my friend Yao, my friend. He shows up. He said he wanted to take me to the mall to do some shopping. Hey, in my mind I'm like, okay. I'm like, cool. We got to the mall. Oh, he picked some clothes for me and for himself. We tried them out and they were on point. We got to the counter and he paid for his alone. Then he stood there waiting for me to pay for mine. For the love of holy Jesus, if I had not carried money along that day, I would have probably been mopping the floors of the mall by now. Even at night, I would still be mopping in my dreams. I'm telling you. When we got back to my hotel, I told him that, look, what you did wasn't cool, and that I'd used part of my train money for those clothes I hadn't originally planned to buy. Well, he apologized and promised to give me back the money tomorrow when we set off to the train station. No problem. No problem. The next morning, he came to my hotel and brought me a pair of brown Chuck Taylor sneakers for me to take back to Ghana to give to his brother. No problem. As for media, no problem. We got to the first train station. I bought my ticket. Mind you, I didn't know I had to use more than one train station before getting to the airport. Domodedova. That's the name of the airport, by the way. After I got on the train, he was standing there just staring at me. Like, just staring at me. Then he reminded me not to forget to give the sneakers to his brother when I arrived in Ghana. The moment the train began to move, that was when I suddenly remembered. He didn't give me the money he promised. Then I heard someone on the train say that we'd have to board another train after arriving at our destination. Hey, Jesus is Lord. And that train station they were talking about was like a distance between La Paz and Temakom to 21 Devtraku. My goodness. For my Nigerian friends watching this, I'd say the distance between Abuja Airport and Wuse. I had my face like about 20 minutes into the journey. I decided to ask a lady seated right opposite me. Oh, hello. Please, where we are going? Can I walk from there to the airport? She looked at me like I was insane. In fact, she even panicked, knowing I was planning to do that. She told me, no, I couldn't, and that is really far. Then I jokingly also responded, oh, come on, I was only kidding. I only wanted an icebreaker to make conversation, that's all. Then we both laughed it out, while in my head. Then the moment of truth finally arrived. The inevitable moment. I had the evil Nigerian movie background music playing in my head. You know, the one that plays when Patience Ozoko is putting poison in her husband's food. As soon as I got down, everybody was busily walking. No dull moment. And the train station alone? Ha! My oh my. The biggest I'd ever seen. Tunnels here and there. I also began walking fast, as if I had somewhere going on. But while on that train, I said a very simple but powerful prayer. Yeah, prayers all come inside though. It was a very serious situation, and don't forget, I was a black man in Russia. You get it? A black man in Russia. As I stood there watching people moving from all angles, and feeling like the only colored person on the planet, I felt sad, frightened, and hopeless. Then I saw a young Russian man standing alone, pressing his phone. I think it was a Motorola or something. I walked to him and asked him if he could help me navigate my way to the next train. The actual thing I wanted to ask was for him to lend me some money, but I was shy. He then pulled out his Nokia phone and showed me a map of the train station. Yeah, right, like that's what I need. In my mind, I'm like, this guy, you think it's a map I want to see? I nodded, and he noticed I was still not okay. So he asked if I had any problem. And mind you, don't forget that this is a Russian guy who knows his language very well and only little of English. The communication was the funniest ever, my dear. I'd have to demonstrate it in a cartoon. Wait, hold up. This is a cartoon. Our hand signs and all, like two different aliens from two different planets and timelines communicating. I then told him that I'd lost my money and that I needed a top-up to get to my destination. For if I'm not able to get on the next train in the next 30 minutes, I'd miss my flight and be stuck here in this racist country. I mean, of course, I didn't say the racist parts though, but they are. So he stood there, looked at me, and asked me to follow him. We got to the counter and he bought 2 tickets. One for me, one for himself, and we moved to the next train. Finally, we got to the last train station, and I asked him, why did you help me, bro? See me too, I won't shut up. Then he said to me calmly, you seem like a good person. I will never forget those words. Now let me break it down to you the entirety of a favor this guy actually did me that day. Imagine meeting someone at La Paz who's headed towards, let's say, Kaswa, but instead decides to help you by boarding the same Trotsky with you all the way to Tema and back just so you don't get lost. Think about that. When I go home, that is Ghana, my friend sent me a WhatsApp message asking if I had arrived safely. The next day, my nephew came to tell me that my friend's brother was at the gate asking if I was home. Lord knows I wanted to bend them and tell my friend I sold them to get money to come to Ghana. Nonsense. Oh, I tossed his brother up and down for like 2 weeks straight up, till my mom advised me to give them to him and forget about them. So I did. When I returned from Russia, I was so broke and depressed until my friend told me about 1xBet. And that's how I've been making my money ever since. Register with 1xBet and use the promo code Tales of Nazir to get extra points so that you can also start making money. The end. Sometimes I feel that guy who helped me could have been an angel, you know. Real talk. By the way, the name is Nazir, and I'm out. Peace. This was proudly brought to you by 1xBet, the most reliable sports betting platform in the world.